Living near the water, people at the mouth of the Amazon take what the river gives them. In the city of Macapá, that means waiting for the tide to go down to embrace the country's national obsession.
Prazer de jogar a bola aqui na terra, né, na região aqui na lama aqui, né, tradicional do estado.
The tradition he speaks of is called futilama, or mud football. There aren't a wealth of open, grassy areas in Macapá. So futilama players erect makeshift goalposts, and it's game on.
De futilama, escolinha.
Mario Frotas is head of the Futilama Federation, a role that keeps him busy on and off the field.
Futilama, há muitos anos, né? Na verdade, há muito tempo atrás, o futilama ele é desenvolvido como pelado. Aí já em 2007 foi criada a Federação Amapáense de Futilama, que é aí que ficou de fato e de direito o futilama existindo mesmo, e hoje o futilama abrange aí aqui o nosso estado quase todo.
Even though Brazil is hosting the World Cup, soccer's preeminent tournament, Frotas will watch the games the way most of us will, on TV. The football crazy state of Amapá won't be hosting any games. It doesn't have a stadium to handle the crowds.
Por que não podemos ter aqui uma arena que realmente pudesse agregar, pudesse ter uma estrutura também aqui no nosso estado, mesmo sendo preservado, com preservação. Hoje o governo, prefeitura, toda a área aqui política é envolvido nesse processo da preservação aqui no nosso estado. E com certeza nós já gostaríamos muito que houvesse jogos aqui.
In a move wildly controversial within the nation, Brazil is spending billions of dollars to build a dozen stadiums around the country. Here in Manaus, in the heart of the Amazon basin, Arena Amazonia is going up at a cost of more than $330 million. Building the stadium is considered a big gamble, believing soccer fans will flock to Manaus over such cities as Rio de Janeiro and Sao Paulo. When the World Cup rolls into Brazil in 2014, Manaus and the rainforest will be on display. Construction on this 44,000-seat stadium needs to be finished by December. All of this so Manaus can host 4 games during the World Cup. Brazil recently stated that during the World Cup, it plans on bringing in $11 billion from soccer fans. But most experts say the government here is fooling itself with such an elevated estimate. $11 billion is 20 times as much money as South Africa generated hosting the last World Cup back in 2010.
De certa maneira, o Brasil está reproduzindo o que a África do Sul fez, construindo estádios que se transformarão em elefantes brancos.
Juca Kafori has spent his life covering soccer. He believes the World Cup could be a financial disaster for the country.
Eu compreendo que um estrangeiro chegue em Manaus e se encante. Mas não sei se você sabe, em Manaus não tem times nem da primeira nem da segunda divisão brasileira de futebol. Os estádios vão ficar as moscas.
It is this perceived waste of public money, more than $23 billion for the World Cup and the Olympics in 2016, that has infuriated people across Brazil. It's not just the country's rank and file who believe the money should be spent on better services. Camilo Capabarebe is the governor of Amapá.
Eu diria que nós temos desafio grande de infraestrutura, aeroportos, portos, estradas, ferrovias, telecomunicações, a internet ainda não é um serviço de qualidade no Brasil de modo geral e na Amazônia em particular.
But always in the ongoing race to help Brazil develop in the 21st century and grow economically, the challenge is finding the balance in the Amazon. Loggers are seen by many as the bad guys in the rainforest.
Respeito do madeireiro, né, que até então sempre foi como um destruidor. Na verdade não é, né? Ele é um preservador da floresta, porque o madeireiro interessa tudo para ele, a floresta em pé, não no chão, né? E a floresta estando lá, mais para frente ela vai produzir mais, né?
This is Peroba wood. It has been over-harvested all over the country and was on the verge of being totally wiped out.
Para outros fins, aí ela é feito esse cabo de vassoura, né? Que é um aproveitamento da madeira, né? A gente aproveita o máximo que puder da madeira, quanto menos desperdício, maior o lucro da nossa produtividade.
Still, these thin rods come from trees that are over a century old, and they sell for about 25 cents and end up on the business end of a broom. Logging, both legal and illegal, has always been a way to make money in the Amazon. But there are other threats to the rainforest these days.
Brazil is big, Brazil is growing very fast.
Paulo Oliveira runs a company designed to promote trade.
So we are very strong in soybean, in iron ore, and all the minerals by general. We have land for cattle. We're the biggest producer of everything in terms of the commodities.
The Amazon is rich in resources, and that's proving to be a double-edged sword for Brazil, opening the door to widespread deforestation. And nowhere is that more evident than in this boomtown city of Parapuebas. 10 years ago, it was a sleepy town of about 25,000. But once the Vale Mining Company opened its massive iron ore mine just outside the city, people came and came. In 10 years, the population has grown tenfold to 250,000. The expansion is evident, visiting the city's one rail station when most people are sleeping. You're looking at a chaotic scene that plays out several times a week here at the train station in the town of Parapuebas. Even though it's in the wee hours of the morning, it's still very hot and humid. These are some 800 migrant workers who have come from all over Brazil to this town looking for work. They're leaving their local small communities because Parapuebas is growing exponentially. A lot of these people will find work, but at what cost? All these people are putting more and more pressure on the rainforest.
Cada dia que passa chega mais gente.
E Paraupebas é uma cidade acolhedora, né? E tem espaço para muitos.
Teve muitos impactos, sim. Tem diferença. Na realidade, as coisas a gente vai mudando muitas coisas, tirando uma coisa e botando outra. Realmente o meio ambiente ele sente, sim, um pouco de impacto com a mudança da nossa convivência.
Jose Suarez is the director of the Commercial Association of Parapuebas.
This is a new area of the Parapuebas, and all of here starts only 3 years ago.
Really?
We developed all this area. I don't know if you can find the ideal balance, but we are trying.
Trees and grassland are giving way to row after row of homes, and more people means more deforestation. And all city leaders can do is brace for more Brazilians looking for a weekly wage.
The people, the government, works with the idea that the population will be the double.
Double population in 5 years.
Double in 5-7 years.
From the air, you can see the result of the forest either being swallowed by burgeoning jungle cities or broad sections of land that have been cleared for crops or cattle. Brazil now has more cattle than any country on earth. Agriculture is a big part of Brazil's GDP. Brazil can grow and harvest and load grain quickly and cheaply, but getting it to port is a different story.
Olha, a parte de logística se torna muito caro na nossa região, principalmente devido ao transporte da safra. As estradas muito precárias.
You won't believe just how bad. Traffic jams can cause entire loads to rot before they reach their destination.
Our trucks are waiting 2 weeks. The soybean in Brazil is very competitive and cheap in the world, in the farm. But from the farm to the port, you have all the costs that create the problem.
After losing hundreds of thousands of acres of the Amazon to slash and burn agriculture, Brazil made huge strides in stopping that practice and preserving the forest. However, The government recently relaxed logging laws, and that led to a huge spike in deforestation in the past year.
Yeah, we need more infrastructure, definitely. Brazil is a very large country, but we need to step back instead of just saying we need more roads. We need to think what's the best way of transportation, what's more effective, what's more sustainable, what requires less energy.
But on the other side, you have the forces of destruction. They've grown much faster than all these other things. So you have many more highways and dams and things being built around the region, and those set in motion processes that then affect deforestation for decades in the future. It isn't just a one-time event.
Senator Braga says part of the problem is the world looks at the rainforest as a global entity and doesn't concern itself with the 25 million Brazilians there who need food, clothes, and housing.
They just care about their problems. They know if we cut the forest, they're going to have an impact there. But they don't care how we are not going to deforestate. They just want, well, I don't care, I just want that you keep your forest standard.
Braga supports an international fund to pay people living in the forest. That money, he says, would keep people from cutting down trees for farming or logging. So should the rest of the world contribute money to protect this?
Well, we don't ask a contribution, we ask in payment because we provide the world with the services. We don't ask in contribution. Brazil don't need contribution. No one needs contributions. We just want to be recognized as services provider. That's it. We are providing water to the world. We are providing a huge air conditioner to the global warming problem.
It's always about the money and the Amazon. The two are intertwined in the eyes of Brazil's leaders. And discussion that somehow the rainforest is a global entity, forget it, critics say.
It's very important to remain focused on the problem. That is, there's a tendency for people to either be optimistic and thinking things are improving and they'll take care of themselves and so forth, and then nobody does anything.
Nearly 9 out of 10 Brazilians live outside the Amazon region. Because of that, many say there is little incentive by Brazil's government to protect that environment or the people that do call it home. So count on Brazil to do whatever it can to spark economic growth. And that means full speed ahead on construction projects like Belo Monte.
Quanto é criminoso esse projeto, quanto esse governo e essa empresa estão cometendo crimes contra os direitos humanos, socioambientais, e a justiça está calada, sentada em cima, apoiando tudo isso.
All the while, Brazil's economy continues to sputter, growing at just above 2% right now. For Maria Oliveira and the millions of other Brazilians who call the Amazon home, their lives are being uprooted by the government push to prosper.
Eu não tinha problema de pressão alta e nem tinha depressão. Hoje só vou na rua com as netas porque eu desconheço a rua. Ora eu conheço as pessoas, ora eu não conheço. Aí eu fui consultar com a doutora Rafaela, ela disse que eu estou com depressão, disse que eu me preocupei muito, a falta do lugar que morava, me senti humilhada. A minha mãe, esses 6 meses, ela está assim, num processo de muito sofrimento. Tem dias que eu penso que ela não vai nem amanhecer viva, de tanta tristeza.
It's clear people here will have wildly differing lives in the new Brazil. The expanse, the diversity, the raw beauty. Many say it's all at risk. In many ways, It's the unthinkable. But if critics are right, the government plan to breathe life into Brazil's economy is enough to break the back of the environment. And at the end of the day, may be the deciding factor that shifts the balance in the tipping point and changes this region